Hey friends, welcome back to Dosadi-duck. It's been a while, but things are not slowing down. As a matter of fact, I feel that they are accelerating. So I've got to do a bit of catch up. I want to finish my last podcast of the introductory 5 podcasts that I've done and then move on to a different format. But I think the first 5 podcasts have set the tone and introduced the idea, and let's carry on. So Dosadi-duck is the podcast where we dig into what it means to flourish as humanity through the love of Christ, with a curious and sometimes out-of-world perspective. I'm your host, and today we're tying together some wild threads we've explored in recent episodes. We're asking a big question. Are we living in a real-life Dosadi-duck experiment? Dosadi experiment? The sci-fi from Frank Herbert's novel, where a hidden planet is a brutal test of survival, control, and power. Are the systems around us, data collection, chemical exposures, even cell phone signals, part of a subtle experiment to keep us subdued? And if it looks like a duck and quacks like a duck, are we all Dosadi-ducks? Let's dive in and see the pieces, if the pieces fit. Grab a coffee, maybe check your phone's not listening, and let's crack about it. For those new to the show, let's recap the Dosadi experiment. In Frank Herbert's 1977 novel, the planet Dosadi is a secret toxic world where 850 million humans and frog-like Gawachan are crammed into one big city, facing scarce resources and constant conflict. It is an experiment by powerful forces to study survival under extreme pressure, hidden from a galactic federation that is supposed to promote balance and freedom. Our podcast takes the idea and asks, is Earth our own Dosadi? Are the systems subtle, interconnected, and maybe even orchestrated that keep us from flourishing as God intended, like in Genesis 1:28, where we are told to be fruitful, multiply, and subdue the earth? We've covered 3 big topics recently: data collection, psychological profiling, and multivalent chemical poisoning, and radio frequency, RF signals from cell phones. Each feels like a piece of the puzzle. So let's summarize them and see how they contribute to this Dosadi-duck profile. Does it quack like a duck? Let's find out. Point 1. The data collection, a psychological profiling, the digital cage. First, we talked about how social media, tech giants like Meta, Google, and even X are collecting insane amounts of data about us. Every like, every scroll, every late-night search for why I'm tired. In 2020, Pew Research said that 64% people think that platforms predict their behavior scarily well. They use tricks like sentient analysis, psychometric modeling, think ocean personality traits, and predictive and analytics to build a digital you. In 2050, Cambridge University study showed that with 150 Facebook likes, the algorithms can know your personality better than your friends. How does this tie to Dosadi? In Frank Herbert's story, the experiment architects watched every move to control and manipulate. Here, data profiles let companies and even bigger players nudge your choices from what we buy to how we vote. It's not lethal, but it's control, keeping us hooked and predictable. If Genesis calls us to flourish freely, a system that manipulates our thoughts feels like a Dosadi-style trap. Does it quack like a duck? Oh, it's quacking loud and clear. The constant surveillance and tailored content keep us in a digital city, fighting for attention instead of resources. It's subtle, but it's a leash. Number 2, catalyzed poisoning, a chemical conspiracy. Next we explore the idea of multivalent poisoning, chemicals in everyday life that seem safe alone but might team up to make us sick. Think pesticides like glyphosate in food, aluminium in vaccines, PFAs in water, and phthalates in perfumes. In 2023, MDPI study suggested glyphosates could amplify heavy metal toxicity, like a 2021 ACOG report hinted at an aluminium fluoride combo messing with brain signaling. These do not kill us, They just leave us with chronic issues: diabetes, fatigue, infertility. That big pharma will happily treat. In Dosadi, the planet's toxic environment was engineered to test resilience. Here, our food, water, and air could be a delivery system for slow motion health crisis. In 2023, a Guardian article of PFAS called it a chemical soup that we're swimming in. If the goal is to keep us dependent, not dead, this fits the Dosadi playbook. Profit for some, struggle for the rest. It's sneaky. Regulators like EPA test chemicals solo, but not in combo. As per the 2023 EMC study, that blind spot feels very experimental. Does it quack like a duck? It quack quack. It's not an overt poisoning, but a system that profits off our ailments while we are told to multiply. Smells like a Dosadi setup. Point 3. Signals and suggestibility. Phones are as puppet strings. Finally, we look at the RF signals from cell phones. These are low energy waves connected to the world, but could they mess with our brains? Brainstream science, the WHO FCC 2020 reports say that RF is safe, but it's not strong enough to heat tissue or break DNA. But studies like in 2006 neuropsychology paper found EEG changes near active phones, and in 2021 a JMA study saw brain activity shift after 50 minutes of exposure. In 2017, environmental health perspective studies even linked heavy phone use to slight memory issues in teens, though it's unclear if RF is the culprit. The real kicker: pair RF with data analytics. Your phone keeps you online. Algorithms hit you with content when you are vulnerable. In 2016, a Nature study proved notifications spiked dopamine, keeping you hooked. If RF subtle boosts focus or disrupt sleep, like a 2019 sleep medicine paper suggested, it could make you more open to manipulation. In Dosadi, the experimenters controlled the environment to shape behavior. Here, our phones might be the delivery system, not controlling our minds, but keeping us tethered to a system that does. Does it quack like a duck? It's quacking softly, but there it is. RF alone isn't mind control array, but it's a carrier for addictive target content. It's part of the experiment. So, let's step back and ask, do these findings support the Dosadi-duck profile? In Herbert's novel, Dosadi was about control, keeping people under pressure, and to see how they adapt, all while hidden powers pull the strings. Our 3 topics, data profiling, chemical synergies, and RF signals, paint a picture of systems that don't kill us, but keep us contained enough. Data tracks our every move. Chemicals keep us dependent on meds. But phones glue us to both, and none of this is overt tyranny, but it's subtle, systematic, and scarily effective. Think about Genesis 1:28 again. Be fruitful and multiply. Replenish the earth. God's call for freedom and growth and a dominion. But if we're profiled, medicated, and distracted, are we truly free to flourish? It's like we're in a Dosadi city, not starving, but not thriving either. Elon Musk tweeted in 2024 about the chemical soup we don't understand, and Jordan Peterson warned in 2024 podcast about tech eroding our critical thinking. They're not saying conspiracy, but they're pointing to systems that feel experimental. There is so much more, and one of the really interesting things about the chemical aspect of it, where we are in a chemical soup, is that individually, as tested by the EPA or the World Health Organization, we cannot tell that we've been told that it's not dangerous. However, what has been revealed is that AI designs these chemicals in such a way that they actually blend in our body. So we are definitely under some sort of control at a whole range of levels. Anyway, this is my last final of the 5, and I'm going to get cracking on a new format. Thank you for listening. Bye.